Greatest NHL player for every jersey number. This is part 5. Let's go! For the number 38, I went with Pavel Demitra. Demitra spent 8 seasons as a member of the St. Louis Blues and was a great player for St. Louis during that time. His best season was in the 2002-2003 season, where he recorded 93 points as a member of the Blues. He went on to have good seasons as well with the Minnesota Wild, the LA Kings, and the Vancouver Canucks, and ended up with over 800 games played in the NHL and over 700 career points. For the number 39, I've got Dominik Hasek. For me, Dominik Hasek's the greatest goalie in NHL history. 6 Vezina trophies, 2 Hart trophies. He's the only goalie in NHL history to have 2 Hart trophies, and 2 Stanley Cups as well. Not only does he have the accolades, but go find his highlight reel. It's absolutely insane. For the number 40, I went with Henrik Zetterberg. Zetterberg spent his entire NHL career with the Detroit Red Wings, and his best season was in 2008, where he had 92 points in the regular season and 27 points in 22 playoff games, which earned him the Conn Smythe Trophy as the Red Wings won the Stanley Cup that year. Now, since he's retired, Zetterberg's had his name thrown around in terms of Hockey Hall of Fame discussions. I don't know if he'll get into the Hall of Fame or not, but he's the greatest player for the number 40. For the number 41, I went with Jason Allison. At the end of his NHL career, Jason Allison only played a total of 552 regular season games in the NHL, but he was very productive during that time. Had some very good years for the Boston Bruins, the LA Kings, and the Toronto Maple Leafs. His best year was as a member of the Bruins in 2001, where he had 95 points. For the number 42, I went with David Backes. Backes spent a total of 16 seasons in the NHL with the Blues, Bruins, and Anaheim Ducks. And while in St. Louis, he was the captain there for a total of 5 seasons. He was the type of player that you'd love to have on your team, as he brought grit to the Blues while also chipping in offensively, as he usually had around 50 to 60 points a season. For the number 43, I went with Canucks captain Quinn Hughes. Hughes is currently one of the best defensemen in the NHL and has been the top defenseman on the Vancouver Canucks since he entered the league. Just this past season, won his first Norris Trophy in his first season as the captain of the Vancouver Canucks, putting up 92 points over 82 games played, which is very impressive for a defenseman. For the number 44, I went with Chris Pronger. Pronger had a Hall of Fame career and wore the number 44 for the Hartford Whalers, the St. Louis Blues, and the Edmonton Oilers, and was a fantastic all-around defenseman during that time, as he was a shutdown defenseman that could also produce offensively from the blue line as well. And while with St. Louis, he became the only defenseman since Bobby Orr to win the Hart Trophy. For the number 45, I went with Sami Vatanen. I'm going to be honest, there wasn't much competition for this number, but Vatanen's had a solid NHL career. His best years were with the Anaheim Ducks as a top 4 defenseman and was a part of the Ducks when they went to the Western Conference Finals in 2015 and 2017. For the number 46, it's David Krejci. Krejci spent his entire career with the Boston Bruins and played over 1,000 games with Boston and was consistently good as a Bruin. Always seemed to show up in the playoffs as well, especially in 2011 when he played a huge role in the Bruins winning the Stanley Cup that year. For the number 47, I went with Torrey Krug. Krug currently plays for the St. Louis Blues, but his best years were spent as a member of the Boston Bruins. So he spent around 7 full seasons in Boston, including the 2019 season when the Bruins made it to the Stanley Cup final. And in those finals, Krug made an absolutely crazy play where he lost his helmet in the Bruins' end and went charging down the ice to absolutely demolish Robert Thomas. It was absolutely insane. Like and follow for part 6.